Hey guys, my name is Shrish. So it's almost been 2 months since I last did a Q&A episode on this channel. So I thought of doing that because apparently there's nothing else that I can cover on the channel, like no new phone, no new gadget or anything like that. So yeah, this is Q&A episode number 4 if I'm not wrong. So yeah, without any further ado, let's get into this. Now a lot of these questions were regarding Poco X2, Realme 6 Pro, Redmi Note 9 Pro Max, in general which phone to buy under the price of 20,000 rupees. And from time to time I've always stated that Poco X2 is my preferred device or my number one choice under the price of 20,000 rupees. But again, just because I prefer the Poco X2 doesn't mean that Poco X2 is a device that you should buy. So you have to, think about your priorities. If you want insane amount of battery, or if you are really heavy with your usage and generally phones don't last you through a day, then you should go for the Redmi Note 9 Pro Max. It doesn't have a high refresh rate display and it also has a 5000 milliamp hours of battery. So you can consider that device. On the other hand, if you want an overall value for money smartphone and if camera is your priority, then go for the Poco X2. And you can also go for the Realme 6 Pro if you can live with the Samsung GW1 sensor and also the slightly inferior 90Hz display panel. So it totally depends on the type of user you are. And if you want a general overview, a general comparison, a general review of these devices, then I'll make sure to drop a few videos in the description box below. And those videos can certainly help you buy the right phone for yourself. And with that out of the way, let's start with the first question. How did you start a YouTube channel? How did you get money to buy camera smartphones and tell about your camera? So basically, speaking about the camera, I'm using the Canon 1300D with the 50mm f1.8 lens, also known as the Nifty 50. So yeah, that's about my camera. And as for how I started my YouTube channel, well, basically, I started watching a lot of Indian creators, a lot of Western creators, and I got inspired to start my own channel. I was into custom ROMs as well back then, like hugely into custom ROMs. So I just gave it a shot. Like I uploaded a custom ROM related video on the Moto X Play, and that video got around 2000 views in my first attempt. So that sort of gave me an initial boost, like a motivation to keep on creating. And that's how I started the YouTube channel that I have right now. And speaking about money to buy camera and smartphones, well, it's always been pretty tough for me to buy a phone, buy cameras and stuff. But back when I had started the channel, the ad revenue was not really that much bad as it is right now. Back then I used to get around $1 for 1000 views. So finances were pretty manageable back then, and that is the reason I got this camera, like Canon 1300D. Like not solely from YouTube, I also had some of my savings. So that you get that. Speaking about smartphones, now I buy a smartphone, I sell it, I make videos on it, I get some ad revenue out of it, and the cycle goes on. That's how I manage my YouTube finances as of it. But it's definitely not as easy as it sounds like right now. Then the next one, what are your thoughts on Dimensity processors? When shall we see a phone based on these processors in India? Do you think Dimensity 800 Plus is going to be the best performance chip in the budget? Well, yes, the Dimensity 800 series and the Dimensity 1000 as well, they're pretty promising on paper. But that's the thing, MediaTek processors have always been pretty promising on papers, while on practical life they've sort of struggled when it comes to power efficiency and heat management and stuff. But again, I'm not being judgmental right here. I am actually being judgmental looking at MediaTek's past track record. But yeah, I just hope that this processor lineup that they are about to launch in India might change the game for MediaTek, and we might see a little bit of competition in the processor market as well. Then this is an interesting question. In your opinion, when is the suitable time for someone to change or upgrade his smartphone? Well, in my opinion, the best time to upgrade your phone is the time when your phone starts to lag or shows unbearable stutters or something like that, like commonly known as the hanging issue. If that happens in your case, then I think that's a pretty good time to change or upgrade your phone. But just make sure you buy the right phone, because just because you bought a new phone doesn't mean that it won't hang or lag or show any sort of stuttering, especially if you buy a Samsung phone. So that's what I'm trying to say over here. So the next one, I saw in Technologue's live stream that you were working with Dhananjay. How was your experience, and why don't you work with him now? Well, working with Dhananjay was a great experience, obviously. It was an honor for me. I was pretty nervous when with the job thing popped up. And overall, I've always said this, that Dhananjay is one of my favorite YouTubers, especially in India. He's arguably my personal favorite tech creator. So yeah, it was obviously a big deal working with him, like a lot of nervousness, a lot of pressure as well. But yeah, when I started working with him, it was all pretty casual basically. Like I never felt like I was working under someone. It almost felt like I'm just making my own videos. Like it was that cool, just in a team. So working with him was a great experience, obviously. Now the reason why I quit his job, or why it didn't work out, I think quitting would be a wrong term. It didn't work out would, I think, be a more suitable term for my case in working with him. So basically I stay in Ratnagiri, which is like pretty far from Mumbai where he stays. So obviously I had to shift to Mumbai to work with him. And that didn't work out quite well as I had planned. And there were a lot of reasons basically, which I cannot really tell in this video. But yes, if Dhananjay, you're watching this video, I really loved working with you, and I hate that I had to get back to this place, and I cannot really work with you anymore. But yeah, that's how it is. Then the next question is, what are your thoughts on Realme? Well, basically, I am glad that someone like Realme entered the market. Because if Realme hadn't entered the budget segment or the budget market, we would have seen Xiaomi being a monopoly. So that would have resulted in less value for money smartphones, and the overall market wouldn't have been as competitive, which obviously is a disadvantage for a lot of consumers. So yeah, I appreciate Realme's presence in the smartphone market. So which editing software do you use, and how much time do you spend on one video? Well, I basically use DaVinci Resolve 16 right now. Previously I used to edit my videos on Adobe Premiere Pro, which which is not really that much good when it comes to performance, and there are a lot of crashes involved in Premiere, which is why I recently switched to DaVinci Resolve. And so far Resolve has been working pretty nice. So that was about the editing software. And as for the time I spent on making a video, well, basically I A-rolls take about, like, if you ask the entire process from scripting to editing, then it roughly takes about, I guess, 17-18 hours. 17-18 hours is the time. Obviously I don't do this pretty continuously. That's sort of impossible for me, which is why my videos sort of take a lot of time to get on YouTube. Create a Telegram group for our community. Well, basically I had created a Telegram group, but that group didn't really receive decent response. Like there were just, I guess, 10 members including me and 2 bots. So yeah, there were like literally 7 to 8 members, and it's not like just because there were 7 to 8 members I closed that group, or I don't really promote Telegram anymore for my community. The thing is, it was getting really hard for me to manage Telegram, this YouTube channel, then there's also Twitter and Instagram. Obviously I'm not saying that I have to focus a lot on these platforms as well, but the thing is, I'm not really good at managing a lot of things at once. So which is why I decided that I should really postpone the plan of Telegram group. And by the way, for those members who were there on that Telegram group, I'm really sorry. I did not get a chance to explain why I was deleting that group and stuff, but now And this is an interesting one. As you are reviewing products available in India, so your targeted audience is mostly Indians, why speak English when you can gain more views reviewing Hindi? Postscript, I like English ones too. So yeah, I mean I do get this question a lot, like why exactly do I not make videos in Hindi? Well, while Hindi generally is termed as Hindi will give you better growth in Indian YouTube community. Well, I do agree to that, but the thing is that if you look at tech community specifically, so there are a lot of Hindi channels in Indian tech community, and it's sort of become very difficult to make yourself visible in that particular crowd, because literally there are tons of channels which make Hindi tech videos. I'm not saying that I don't want to make Hindi videos or I have any problem with Hindi or anything. In fact, I have tried making Hindi videos on this channel. If you go to some of my old videos, you can find that I was speaking Hindi in those videos. So yeah, I have tried out that. But again, I found out that the competition in Hindi is too much, so that didn't work out for me. So what was the toughest thing in 13.2k journey? What's the next milestone in 2020? 100k? The toughest thing with my YouTube journey so far has been managing finances and expenses, and the second thing is patience. Like you have to admit that there are a lot of things which you cannot really control on YouTube. Like you can upload the best video possible on YouTube, but you cannot really predict, or you cannot really control the amount of attention or views that you're going to get on that video. So you need to be patient, you need to produce good quality videos, good content on YouTube, And eventually, yeah, it gets really difficult if you are an impatient person like me. And then managing finances, well, basically managing finances has been difficult for me because I don't have a lot of money that I can invest in this particular channel. And yes, you do need to invest a lot of money in a tech channel in the initial days, because right now the competition is too much, so you need to cover as many devices as you can if you want to be a tech reviewer. So yeah, that's the toughest part, I think, on YouTube. By the way, if you guys don't really follow me on Instagram and Twitter yet, then I'll make sure to drop those links, because I have been pretty active on Instagram and Twitter lately, because there's a lot of stuff that I don't really post on this YouTube channel, and that goes on Twitter and Instagram. So yeah, thank you for watching. See you guys in the next one.